I wasn't sure you'd ever turn up. The odds just kept getting longer.
I don't think that's a direct reference to how long this sequel took, and I'm not missing Vin Diesel at all. I am Couch Coop. This is my Ark Ascended review on a local co-op level for the PlayStation 5. I take great pleasure in this. It's not often we get mammoth games like the Ark series, which is essentially a huge survival game based in prehistoric Jurassic, Station Nation, you name it, hellspawn giant insects, huge snakes that are out of the paleological canon. No one cares. It's awesome. I did have a little palpitation on logging in, but we are looking at some incredible split screen action with this. Some good, some bad, all's coming up. Do I have any experience with Ark Survival Evolved, this game's predecessor? About 755 hours, and I bought all of the DLC, including the new maps and that new Genesis material. Now I know the developers have been up to a little bit of arseholery lately. They tried to monetize servers, I think, which was pushed away by the community. Everything's been settled on that front. Let's look at this Unreal Engine 5. Other than Lords of the Fallen, this is my sort of first experience with it, and I'm going to say it, holy fuck. It is screen tearing a lot for a PlayStation 5 game. That's the first thing you'll notice. So I'm straight in the options. It's got to be on a quality mode by accident. There must be a performance flip. There's nothing. There was on the original Ark. This feels like it needs some VSync. But other than that, the frames are keeping up to speed. That doesn't dip. It's just that the screen tear itself is pretty noticeable. I'm surprised there wasn't a patch. This has been out longer than a month, so I think we'll see some more performance material come through. Here we go. Now, looking into the split screen, I was thinking there might be an options menu prompt. It also allows you to go offline single player in your own sort of map. You do have a dedicated server option. The best way with this game is to play it with friends on a paid server, so you don't have randos RPG in your dino farm. This is a real-time join, so I'm playing on the Kez account, which has got paid PSN base level access, and then I'm joining my Dubai defunct account to double check it doesn't push back sort of non-paid PlayStation Network accounts. The good news is straight in. Also, no real disturbance on that top screen. Getting the character chosen, everything is really smooth and easy. Ark 1's got the weirdest entry animation that if you're on the other screen at the time, just slows everything down. Very quick, very slick. A massive improvement on that other Ark intro. I'm also spawned in on a section of water that's between me and my mate. That water is just as populated with piranhas as the previous game. That in itself became quite amusing. Here's the really amazing news. That visual engine does not seem to be downgraded at all when the second player joins. The shadows and the reflections and the detail on all of the surfaces, everything is still there. On the first one, it dipped to like 720p and took your frame rates down to about 30, so it barely coped. This is even on the PlayStation 5. This is incredible, but your screen tearing situation does get even worse, but it's bearable. It's just jarring for someone like me who's constantly looking out for it because I'm a bloody video game reviewer. I'm playing Remnant from the Ashes 2 over on my mid-range PC, and that's dropping frames as opposed to screen tearing, and that is almost unplayable in sections because you need that frame-to-frame recognition because the game is so hectic that you cannot have the dips in, it will just get killed. So you've got that on your side, that this is pretty pegged. For the 700 of you that got to see the Tomb Raider video, I speak quite graphically about my disappointment with the jump in engine from 4 to 5. But I'm kind of willing to step back on those words a bit after seeing how much they've kept in with the graphical fidelity front and this split screen mode. It's truly two games running alongside each other. And here's the other thing, I didn't see, and I did look for a horizontal and vertical split options within that UI. It is just the horizontal at the moment. So two things I think are going to happen. We're going to see a performance patch come in and this tearing's going to be eliminated, and we're probably going to see a vertical option. If you look at a game like Borderlands 3 on the PlayStation 5 and how well that performs with 4 and 2 split screens, you'll realize how much of a dip graphically this game is taking. However, This is running in a massive open world. There are no load screens in and around the island. It's unbelievable how big this place is. And all these effects, all these reflections, all this moving foliage, I think is really taking its toll on the machine, which is probably a good thing. It's about time a video game managed that, but I still want to see more, and I know it can get better. I'm testing the menu system here. The game requires you to go in and out of your inventory almost constantly. Look at the tail on the crocodile. It goes up and down when the other player goes into their menu. That's a strange one. Probably one of the first YouTubers to notice that. I will take that like and subscription. What is it about Ark that's so attractive to me? Ark is like the Pokemon of the Killer Jurassic world, and you basically befriend or tame or imprison some seriously scary dinosaurs to work on your side. Now, the second tier is PvP, and just like Rust or anything, DayZ, something that's huge and still going on a day-to-day basis, that's got a huge online community. Can you take your friend as a guest online with you with a competitive PvP match? That's yet to be fathomed by my good self. You can go into a private or dedicated server, but I don't think you can piggyback off one PSN account to get involved with that online PvP. Comments on that, please. Just briefly back to that in and out of menu test, there is no lag or frame drops or screen freeze on the other player's screen whilst you're crafting, handling your inventory, eating food, anything like that. It's impeccable on that front, and I couldn't say that about Borderlands 3 on launch. This game has made me extremely happy, however, and if you've got a flatmate, a brother, a partner, you're looking at weeks and weeks of amazing knuckle-biting, nail-whitening experiences. The way I would play it is to have two maps, and each player helps the other one in various sessions on constructing and taming. I haven't even tested this game if you both have flyers, or even if one person has a flying dino. I can imagine that engine will get choked hugely if both people are flying around the screen at the same time. I've also tested the tethering range. You can see that we get to the maximum here, just over there by the fire. I would say that's about 200, 300 meters, not any bigger or smaller than the previous games. You can also invite a guest, a bit like Animal Crossing, into your own private server. They can have a look at all of the stuff you've done. That can all be done online, and there's a lot of pride there. There's huge time to be wasted in Ark Ascension, and I may well do an offline single player review of it because I'm only about 10 to 15 hours in. Wanted to get the split screen test done as soon as possible, but there's a lot of meat left to be eaten. Just lastly, wanted to test leaving a game, i.e. you don't have to go back to the menus, both of you don't have to stop, you quite literally sign out and the screen switches to full, everything is back to normal, and that goes for joining. That's really important. I think the whole sort of person arrives in room, sits down, fires up the pad and doesn't disturb you, but still has as much fun as you are in minutes with the game that you're playing currently. That's a very handy thing. The same goes for when they piss off and stop helping you. Now, I have been couch queue. This game retails at 40 British pounds, which isn't too bad. It's not a 70 quidder, and we're going to see huge improvement on it. I will keep such a close eye on those patches. I will see you down there.